Good morning. My name is Rick Yu. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and co-founder of TG3D Studio. Many of you have known us as a 3D body scanner company. As a matter of fact, we're beyond just 3D body scanning. TG3D Studio strives to provide comprehensive 3D digital solutions for every digitalization need that a fashion designer or business manager may encounter. There are many scheduled sessions during these 4 days dedicated to talking about how to use 3D technology specifically in designs and with supply chains. I am, on the other hand, going to focus more today on how to leverage 3D technologies to streamline your workflow and adapt to the post-COVID new world when launching your own label. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the chat for this session or the community board at our booth, and we'll be sure to answer them either at the end of this session or through the community board. First, let's set some context. Don't you think the last 6 months was so hard and depressing? Ever since COVID-19 had hit the world, first in Asia, then made its way to Europe, North America, and Latin America, these are the depressing news stories on apparel retailers that I wake up to every morning. On the contrary, our sales inbox at TG3D Studio is flooded with inbound leads that feel the urgency of 3D digital solutions. Let's take a quick look at what different stakeholders from the apparel sector are looking for from 3D in response to the pandemic. Fashion creatives are flocking to 3D digital design solutions to keep their operations from being interrupted by the lockdown. All the fashion shows and exhibitions are canceled. They no longer can fly to meet customers. They need a new way to collaborate in the creative process as well as to present their works. Fabric suppliers are looking for new ways to market their products now they cannot attend any exhibitions like they used to, and to fulfill the growing demand for 3D designs. Custom apparel brands are probably hit the hardest because of their traditionally high reliance on face-to-face engagements with their customers. For these shops, selling in a way that's compatible with social distancing requirements is a matter of life or death for their business. Tailors are looking for ways to take measurements with minimal contact and to allow existing customers to make new orders from their homes. And the same goes for uniform suppliers. They want to minimize try-ons to determine the correct sizing with as little contact as possible. So that's it for our quick overview of the industry. But what about you? What might you fit into all of this? To all of you aspiring fashion designers, if having a label with your own name on it is the reason that you went to fashion school, if you've gone through various jobs, building up experiences so that this dream could come true, you certainly should not be discouraged to take that step forward, even though we're facing one of the most critical pandemic in the recent century. As a matter of fact, if you start your own label now, you might even get better bargains with suppliers and partners in today's economy, and not have to fight for resources against bigger players like in the good times. You should, however, plan carefully to minimize your personal risk by controlling your investments of both time and money, since you will be all in on this and all eyes are on you. So, how do you take full advantage of technology to get things done with less? To understand how much 3D technology can help you, let's dig into the steps of the creative process. What you're seeing here are the typical stages you will have to go through from product conception to being sold at retail. And this legacy model involves many challenges along the way. Take a designer, Jillian, who worked with us, for example. We've known each other before she decided to leave her career as a user interface designer from the tech industry and pursue her degree in fashion design. After she graduated from Parsons 2 years ago, she dabbled with fashion tech and haute couture projects for another year before she decided to combine her two passions, fashion design and free diving, and launch her own label, G1, with an aspiration to bring more hip-looking rash guard products for female divers. She spent a good 6 months traversing through this pipeline using almost no digital tools, even though she did most of the work in-house and was able to take good control of the project schedule. With the typical process, Jillian's new label starts out as an idea in her mind. She uses either Sketch or puts it on Illustrator and starts to refine that idea into a full collection. Then she will find someone to help turn that sketch into a product. Usually it involves a pattern, a sample maker, and rounds of fitting and revisions until she's satisfied with the final look. This cycle can easily take up 3 to 4 months. This is then followed by the line review, and she has to decide the final candidates to be included in this collection. Then come the marketing activities to get her work noticed through fashion shows or PR. Once Jillian has found buyers, she knows what to produce and how many of each piece. The collection goes into production, but it will take another few months before her work is for sale in stores. During this long production period, she only has samples of each look made to use for all purposes such as photo shoots and customer samples. All right, here comes the first big challenge. On average, pattern and sample making in New York City can easily cost you somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 US per piece. And sometimes you need to pay extras to make changes. You have all these amazing ideas for your inaugural collection, but then you look at your budget and that forces you to be practical. More often than not, designers have to change course and pick the designs that are more guaranteed to succeed rather than pushing the limits of design. But what if things like copy, cut, paste, redo, and preview that we take for granted in typical computer software are there to help you through this process? What if you can see your ideas come to life right in front of your eyes? You will realize more clearly what works and what doesn't. Using 3D fashion design software like Schematic DC Suite and 3D style management software like the Stylebook service allow you to do just that. Not only can you simulate the design in 3D from digital patterns, but also you can use the Stylebook feature to implement modularities into your design. So you can convert one single design concept into tens or even hundreds of configurations at a fraction of the cost from traditional sampling. You can be clearer ahead of your line review and make decisions based on what your eyes see, no longer solely relying on your imagination. If you also know a bit about pattern making, that's great. You can do all the fitting and make changes from the first draft of the patterns on your own. That will save you a lot of time and money from having to rely on pattern makers to do it for you, which is often a resource you have to fight against other peers. But not everyone starting out has prior experience with pattern making. And if you can't do it in-house, communication can be extremely challenging when working with pattern makers and sample services remotely. It is sometimes very difficult to put in words the image that you have in your mind of your product. It's like trying to describe how your baby looks like before the first ultrasound. Having the ability to create visualizations and shape your product into your ideal form in 3D will save a lot of back and forth and avoid mistakes. Going back to Jillian's example with 3D, she can experiment with different style line implementations on her design, take an all-around look at the garment all by herself, and save a lot of time, cost, and most importantly, the anxiety of uncertainty. The third challenge comes when you try to determine your size system. Are you basing it on the linear grading formula or on who might actually be purchasing and wearing your product? Are the fit and look catered to your target customers' body shapes? If you get your sizing right in the early stage, it will save you tons of money from returns and restocking later on, and up your chances for making that customer a repeat buyer. It is also critical that you fit your virtual samples on forms that are likely to represent your customers in various sizes and spot any possible issues in the pattern engineering. Well, today is your lucky day, and we can help you with this. TG3D Studio has several experience labs locations such as New York, Paris, Amsterdam, and Hong Kong, equipped with the Skanatic 360 body scanners. Together with our offices in Hong Kong, Taipei, Seoul, and Shanghai, we welcome independent designers to book a time to come in and meet with us. We'll provide free access to self-service and get your fit model scanned for any 3D sampling needs. If you don't have a fit model of your own and you want to base your sizing decisions on aggregate statistics and data, Alvanon's body platform is your perfect choice. You can find avatars in various sizes built with 3D body scan dataset collected in different parts of the world in the last 20 years. The Skanatic DC Suite supports Alvanon body platform, and once you have licensed the avatars from Alvanon, you can seamlessly have these avatars imported into DC Suite for virtual fitting and spot any possible fitting issues early on before production. Once you have made sure the garment design has been engineered to carry out the spirit of your concept and is ready for production, it's time to look for buyers and collect those pre-orders. Whether you want to go about the traditional wholesaling with a new direct-to-consumer model, the last thing you want to do at this moment is drop a bunch of money and produce a sample for each possible SKU in all available sizes. Instead, try showcasing your collection digitally and only make a couple of physical samples for hands to feel. You may consider using virtual style management services such as the Skanatic Stylebook service that allows you to use your design style template created in 3D, put together a look virtually with just a few clicks of the mouse, and further render that into photorealistic digital clothing for showcase. You can further add a 3D configurator to your website if you want to allow customizations for wholesale customers or even for individual consumers. Okay, now we're in the pre-mass production phase and you need to make decisions on the quantity to write on the order form. If you've employed a direct-to-consumer model, rather than guessing which SKU will be your bestseller, and what quantity to make of each color and size, why not fully take advantage of social media platforms and do some A/B testings on how consumers receive your products? With the traditional non-digital method, waiting for physical samples to be made before photo shoots takes too long, and that leaves you almost no time to conduct this kind of market test as part of the go-to-market strategy. If you have gone digital from day one, you will benefit tremendously from the ability to reuse all your digital assets from the product development stage for market testing purposes. You won't need to produce any product physically just yet. All you have to do is take your 3D clothing and seamlessly generate photorealistic images of it, either displayed on its own or on a photographed human model. Then set up your KPIs for advertising on Instagram or other preferred social media platforms. If a certain percentage of customers that you have targeted are willing to put money down and make a pre-order, then that gives you the green light and confidence for mass production and a baseline for forecasting the production quantity for each size. This will create a much more demand-driven business model where you can reduce the financial risk associated with overstocking. What you're seeing here is a real person dressed in virtual clothing, and I bet you can hardly tell. You can even use this technology to reduce the time and money spent on traditional photo shoots. Despite all the craziness going on in the world right now, we must feel fortunate that we're living in this digital era. Talented people from every corner of the world can come together and co-create amazing works. You can build quite a streamlined working model with professionals from around the world who have hopped on the digital bandwagon, like yourself, hopefully, after the 3D Tech Festival. Best of all, you can take advantage of time difference for a non-stop 24-hour working pipeline. I like to share the following story as an example. Evelina Barlock is a partner to TG3D Studio and a highly talented designer, pattern, and dressmaker living in London. Her studio, EB Atelier, has supported VIP projects for Tom Ford and Gucci, helping them dress their high-profile celebrity customers for important events like the Oscars and Golden Globe Awards. Manon Martin, founder of Les Aimants, a New York-based high-end modern bridal collection of made-to-order gowns, who's also a true believer that marrying fashion with technology is the future for her business. Manon has been working with Evelina, leveraging her expertise to turn her creatives and vision on bridal beauties into constructions and patterns. During the product development process, Evelina has further helped Manon visualize her design in 3D, and they have been able to use these tools as means for communication to make sure that the pattern engineering will deliver the silhouette for that piece of art that Manon has in her mind, and animated in a runway to inject the liveliness into this piece of garment. Manon's customers also enjoy not having to make several trips for fitting sessions because the team had the customer's body shapes digitally replicated, custom patterns made, and fitted on her digital avatar before they were made into real garments. The benefit to go with on-demand or made-to-order model like Manon is that you're not making anything into final goods until there is an order. Even if there are unfinished materials from this season, you can reuse these materials in a new season and achieve zero waste and free yourself from financial burdens from ready-to-wear model. Let's talk about how 3D technology can enable an on-demand production model. If your brand is all about customization and personalization like Les Aimants, you might want to consider utilizing your digital assets to enhance the overall customer experience through interactive visualizations of customized products in-store. Studies have shown that the use of 3D product visualizations can help increase conversion rates somewhere between 20% to 70% and also contribute to upselling at a higher ASP. You can also extend the use of your digital assets by having them embedded on your website. You may further bring the body scanner into the formula so that you can eliminate the tedious and often erroneous process of taking measurements by hand. Most importantly, minimize physical contact with customers in post-COVID new normal. The new Skanatic 360 body scanner is the first contactless 3D body scanner that does not require customers to hold onto any handlebars that may contain a lot of virus and germs. It also allows them to control the screen by body movements to ensure their health is protected. After your customer has been scanned, you will be able to virtually fit your customer in 3D without asking them to come back for many fitting sessions. The Skanatic for Fashion digital solutions encompass tools that allow you to visualize human bodies, materials, and clothing all in 3D. Create and manage 3D apparel assets, reuse and apply these 3D apparel assets to boost your sales and enhance consumer experiences. And last but not least, technical services to ensure your business can have a seamless 3D transformation. Every module listed here can work as a standalone product. They're compatible with most mainstream software solutions and interconnectable through APIs. For the added benefit, when they're put to work together, they're magically and fully integrated as a powerful end-to-end solution. This will save you a lot of time from having to figure out how to make pieces from different vendors work together. Okay, I hope you all walk away today with something valuable for your future endeavors in the fashion industry, whether you're starting your own clothing line or going to work in the corporate world. Collectively, we need a major paradigm shift to take us away from being the second most polluting industry and to make our futures more green and sustainable. Let's all take that first step forward together with digital transformation using 3D technologies. TG3D Studio has a virtual booth at the 3D Tech Festival. You will learn more about our featured designers and their stories with 3D. Their works are also being showcased in the gallery. Please come talk to us and ask us any questions on the community board about how to start your journey with 3D. Thank you very much. Feel free to also visit us at www.tg3ds.com and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.